Hello cadets, I am A.U. Shaw and I'll be your map reading instructor for this evening. What is a map? A map is a bird's eye view of a piece of ground drawn to scale at a specific time and date. Is an example of a map. This is the map that carried me throughout my entire training. It lasted me the entirety of my JCCA training. This is a map. This is a type of map. There are many types of map. That will be in the next lesson. What are the types of map? There are many types of maps, but there's really only one type of map for which the purposes of the JCCF is concerned about. It's really the only type of map you'll be having in the field, for which you'll be spending most of your time. So it's the one that you really need to focus on. This type of map is a topographical map. What is a topographical map? A topographical map is a map that shows natural and man-made features on the ground in as much detail as the scale will allow. Now, I showed a map that I used throughout my training before, and this is an example of a topographical map. What are natural and man-made features on the ground? Natural features would be things that are in nature: hills, mountains, valleys, water bodies, which includes rivers, swampland, marshes, wells, and so on. Man-made features: bridges, schools, hospitals, railways, roads. Those are man-made features. The scale of a map, for this map to be specific, can be found right here. I don't know if the camera is good enough to show. Let me see if I can put it closer. Scale of a map is right here. This is the scale of the map. That's where it's found on this map specifically. So, in as much detail as the scale will allow, that for this map, the scale is here, and that's the scale of a map. Reliability of a map. There's only one instance in which a map is 100%, keyword 100% reliable. And this is the exact time and date in which the aerial photo was taken and it was drawn, provided that nothing changed between the time and the date in which the aerial photo was taken and when the map was drawn. This is the only instance in which a map is 100% reliable. Every other single instance, it is not 100% reliable. So if you're in the field, you're given a map, and the map was, you look at the map, and the map said that it was created on the 13th. That was in January. Now we're in December. That map is not 100% reliable. It may be the only map you have, and so regardless, you have to use it, but it is not 100% reliable. Marginal information. Marginal information is any additional information on the map. Going back to my map, marginal information would be everything right here. And this is specific to my map. Everything right here on this side of the map is additional information. Let me see if I can bring it closer to show you. So you can zoom. Can it focus? So here we have title of the map. We have the sheet number. We have the area of interest. We have, these are called Let me give you the technical term, conventional signs and symbols. That's what these are, conventional signs and symbols. But we're not there yet. But this is a technical term. But this is additional information, i.e. marginal information. And if we go down, we see the scale, marginal information, and there's additional information here, marginal information. Again, marginal information, any additional information on the map. How to take care of a map? The perfect instance of preservation of a map is on a smooth, flat surface protected by a clear or glass case. That is the perfect instance of a preservation of a map. But this is not the instance you'll have in the field. In the field, you'll be given a map, which is a paper, and you'll have to know how to take care of it because it needs to last until you get to your objective and back. How can you do that? How should you do that? The first way to take care of a map is called a concertina. A concertina. And a concertina is a specific way of folding a map. There are advantages to a concertina. One advantage is that it's a way of taking care of a map. Another advantage to a concertina is that you can access information on the map without having to unfold the map fully. My map is in a concertina. Remember I said one of the advantages of a concertina is that you can access information on the map without having to unfold it. I have access to the marginal information just by looking at the front. I have access to another area of the map without having to unfold it. Another area, and so on. I do not have to do this to observe my map. This is how a concertina looks. This is how it looks. Points to note. My map here has creases in it. A part of taking care of your map is to not have creases in it whilst your map is in a concertina. I will demonstrate how to make a concertina. So, we have here a blank piece of paper, and this is what a map is originally in. Now, we're going to make a primary fold, which is the initial fold. Here, I have folded the map in half. That is the primary fold to make the map into a concertina. Folding the map in half. Points to note, I have not creased the map. Creasing the map means this. See? That is something you should not do when folding the map in a concertina. Step 1. Next is to fold the map in what I would describe in a Z shape. That involves folding here. This is my secondary fold. Let me put it closer. Secondary fold. First fold was to fold the map in half, taking care not to crease the edges. Secondary fold was to fold the map down like this. Then I'm going to fold the map in the opposite direction of the secondary fold. Secondary fold, opposite direction. We have here tertiary fold. Let me put it closer. Tertiary fold. And this is why I describe it as a Z shape. Here you can see it forms a Z. We're not finished, but as you can see, there's a Z being formed, or more accurately, a Z, the letter Z. Remember, take care to not crease. We'll do it again, once more, final time, and here we have a concertina. Concertina. Take care not to crease the map. Simply fold it. My map, concertina. Map, concertina. Taking care not to crease it. Now, you may have realized, and I did say earlier, that my map is creased. And there is a reason why my map is creased, or I should say an excuse I can give for my map being creased. And that involves also taking care of the map. Now, rules of taking care of the map outside of folding it in a concertina. There should be no markings on the map. If it is absolutely necessary to make markings on the map, it must be done lightly with a pencil. No pen, no markers, pencil, lightly. Of course, erasers should not be used on the map. But if you have marked the map lightly with a pencil, an eraser shouldn't be detrimental. Any type of eraser shouldn't be detrimental. And of course, you're not going to erase viciously, as I would describe it. Another way of taking care of the map: no food or water should be near the map. You should not be eating, you should not be drinking anywhere around your map. Your map should also not be exposed to the elements. Your map, another way of taking care of your map is to put it in a waterproof case. That could be, in the field, a clear plastic bag. It could be as simple as that. A clear plastic bag, which would be very much helpful in taking care of the map. Another way of taking care of the map is lamination, which is what I've done to my map. And this is for the purposes of the field. This was done before going in the field. Now, how I laminated my map. There are ways to laminate your map. There's the professional way, of which you would know if you've ever went to one of those printer places where they laminate stuff. Another way to laminate your map, specific for the field, and is best to use in the field, and as I have done, is to simply use clear tape and tape the map. Which is why my map has a kind of, should I say, shine or sheen to it. This sheen you are seeing is actually clear tape, and that is why I have an excuse at least to fold the map, because this map is very durable. This can survive water, this can survive the elements, this can survive the creasing, this can survive the folding. It's not indestructible, but this is my excuse for having fold the map, crease the map. Do not do that. You should not crease your map. But due to my lap being laminated in what I would describe as a DIY way, I'm able to do that without much consequences. I could even make markings on this map because the markings would not be made on the actual map but instead of the tape. Another way of preserving your map. These are the ways you can take care of your map.